Hey guys, Andrew French from Relax and Enjoy Health Massage and Personal Training. Today we're going to be talking to Clint Ashton. Now Clint runs, together with his wife Simone, he runs Absolute Health and Fitness in Townsville, Queensland. They have a facility there where they do one-on-one personal training. They also have online training available, which is they do 28-day challenges as well as 12-week transformational challenges. And if you want to have a look at any of those, they've got some amazing testimonials at www.absolutehealthfitness.com.au. Get over there, check it out. There is just some amazing transformations there of the different ladies of all walks of life. So get on that, have a look, and hopefully today you get a lot out of today's session. There's some amazing hints and tips in there just through Clint's life that he's done and he gets his clients to do, and what he says is exactly what he does. So he's a very, very upfront, straight talking man. He's very, very honest. He's forthright. Definite Queenslander with his language and mannerisms, and being from Townsville, and I lived in Cairns for 10 years, so there's a bit of a rivalry between there, but the guy's an amazing man, and hopefully you'll get a lot out of today's session. So I'm going to get into it, and we'll see you soon. We're here today with Clint Ashton, who is from, oh my God, Absolute Health and Fitness in Townsville. Now, I was formerly a Cairns boy, so obviously we have to be natural-born enemies. It's the rule. Nobody goes to Townsville. Come on, what's in Townsville?
Yeah, it's a bit like that, isn't it? Hey guys, how are you?
All right. So, all right, Clint, give us some background on who you are, what you do.
Okay, basically I'm a personal trainer and a lifestyle coach. So a bit of a background, like I was involved in a lot of sport when I was, through school, high school and everything like that. And basically I would say I let life get the better of me for a while post high school, and just probably didn't have much direction in my life, and done a lot of different jobs, like trade jobs and different things that I didn't like as a career. So ultimately, I loved fitness, health, sports. So I thought, being a personal trainer in the health and fitness industry would be something good for me. And 6 years later or 7 years later, I'm still here. So, yeah, that's a bit of a background on my.
Awesome. All right, I was doing a bit of skulk around the pages today on Facebook and on your website and everything, and the facility looks amazing. It's huge.
Yeah, it certainly is. We have good facilities up here. So, plenty of good gyms in Townsville these days. So, yeah, it's awesome.
That's amazing. All right. So, basically, you said you did trade work and things like that. So, what led you to basically, you're in your own facility now?
Yeah, well, we are, but also online mostly is what we do now, is online.
Okay.
Used to do more stuff in a facility, but these days it's pretty much vastly online weight loss for women, essentially. So
okay, fantastic. Because I've seen you do a couple of transformations. You do 28-day and a 12-week transformation.
Yeah, that's correct, Andrew. We have the 28-day challenge and also the 12-week lifestyle makeover. So yeah, both been really successful programs for the ladies, and obviously some awesome transformations too, which is great.
Yeah, I've had a look on the page, and Ashley, I think, one of the most amazing ones. I was just looking, and yeah, so there's some really, really good stories in there from all the different ladies.
Yeah, certainly has been a lot of good success stories, I guess you could say, and just good to see where these women were initially to where they've come to now is very rewarding, I guess you could say.
Okay, that's fantastic. Now, it says on the site you're an athlete and a rugby player.
I would say was, but these days not so much.
All right.
Yeah, definitely have a rugby league background from when, school years, primary school, high school. So, and definitely very much an avid fan of the game now and sport in general. So,
Alrighty. Now, you said that you sort of let yourself go a little bit. What happened?
I think just not having much of a plan after high school and not really following my passions, and probably getting hanging around too many dickheads, I guess you could say, who didn't have direction in their lives. As well, as they say, birds of a feather flock together, and that was true for me. So yeah, I guess just health, fitness and things like that weren't a priority. I think partying and drinking and things like that were more of a priority. So yeah, I definitely did let myself go. I mean, as I was a teenager, like most of us, it's quite easy to keep the weight off and stay in good shape. But as high school ended and you get into the 20s, I just noticed, the bad lifestyle habits led to me obviously gaining weight, which was definitely also a reason why I went down the path of getting into the health and fitness industry and being a personal trainer. Like, having changed my lifestyle, I, found it rewarding and just, I got more out of life, and then wanted to teach other people what I had myself taught myself, essentially.
Awesome. So what needed to change to begin that process? I mean, it's, as I know myself, I struggle almost on a daily basis sometimes, especially if, something's out on the counter. But it's not an overnight success story. So what had to change for you?
I think the first thing I had to change was just being brutally honest with myself, to be honest. Like, I think I got to the stage where I was literally like, I've had enough of living like this. I don't want to feel like shit anymore. I don't want to feel like I'm 40 or 50 when I'm in my 20s. So yeah, that was the first thing, just being very honest with myself, looking in the mirror and saying, right, if you don't change, where are you going to be in 10 years' time? And the idea of that was quite scary. So yeah, I just be really honest with myself. And from then just took some basic steps really towards positive change. So.
Okay, so you realised you need to change. So basically it sounds like you really, really had to come to terms with your why. Coaches are always saying we have to find our why. The why is what's going to bring you through, rather than just getting motivated for a little while. So basically finding your why is a very important aspect. Exactly.
That's the best way of putting it. I just got really honest on why I wanted to do it, and just asked myself the questions that I think so many people don't ask themselves. They don't want to go to that scary place where they might have to accept and be honest that, hey, things need to change here. So yeah, that was a very important first step, I think.
Okay, so what were your biggest struggles along the way?
I would say just staying on track and just staying consistent with eating and exercising. I found it quite hard to stick to things like that to begin with, basically because I looked at it like it was like a diet, like a short-term quick fix, if you will. So, once I got out of that mentality and just realized that, look, this was a lifestyle I had to live forever. So instead of going from one extreme to the other, like I sort of had done, what I'd done is found a bit of a balance in between, like where I could still allow myself treats and chocolates or some alcohol occasionally or whatever it may be, but not every day or every weekend. So yeah, just finding that good balance allowed me to make it quite easy and simple, which is basically what I teach people now.
All right. So the easier, the better. The more simple, really.
Simple, yeah. Not necessarily easy, but definitely simple, which just takes a lot of the overwhelm and the stress away from people and gives you that clarity, I guess you could say. Okay,
so keeping it simple. So that helped you be more successful. And so did that involve creating daily habits, things that you have to do all the time, or?
Yeah, definitely daily habits and weekly habits too. Like, one of the big things for me was just being organized and being prepared. Like, so many of us get into this trap of putting food as a bit of an inconvenience. Like, what we've done in society in general, we've gone away from healthy eating because we went towards convenience, which was takeaway foods like McDonald's and just packet foods, which were easy. So, so rather than looking for what was convenient, I just created a few weekly habits where, healthy food would be convenient, right? So what I mean by that is doing weekly shopping, like not just going to the shops and throwing a whole heap of shit in like most people do, but knowing, right, I need to eat this much veggies, this much protein, and then I would buy that, and I would notice that I was probably spending less money because I wasn't buying things that I didn't need. And so that was a good habit. And then just doing weekly food preps is another good weekly habit. From day to day, I guess just following through and eating the foods that I had bought and prepared, and obviously a little bit of exercise as well, but without going too overboard with exercise.
Okay, excellent. Because we've my wife and I have just started with the meal prep thing. It's not necessarily, we're not the whole Tupperware container. We're not doing all that type of stuff. But what we've made sure that there are basic meals ready to go. Vegetables are already cleaned, prepped, already sliced. In the fridge, ready. All we have to do, because we don't finish until 8 o'clock at night sometimes. So we find it. 8 o'clock at night, you just, oh my God, I got to go to bed soon. Well, we have to find something to eat. And then you're sort of looking at comfort style foods. It's a lot easier to go down and get a roast chicken. And so we find it a lot easier. We have a couple of meals. We have, everyone has like the standard 10 meals they have really. So we actually have tried to simplify that down into actually having the ingredients ready to go. Yeah. So that way it turns a 40-minute thing into 20-minute. We just got to pull it out, just get it prepared, and we're good to go.
Yeah, exactly.
So, keeping it alive.
Like what we do ourselves. And, a lot of people say, oh, but I don't have time to do food prep. But when you look at it, you don't have time to not do food prep, because doing your food prep might take an hour, and that's got your food sorted for the week, whereas not doing it, you might be spending half an hour every day, 7 days a week, and it ends up 3 or 4 hours to stay on top of it, where, as you know, one food prep 1 or 2 days a week saves you a shitload of time, and you don't have to think about it as well, which is important. During the week, you've got, most of us anyway, have a lot of things going on, work, business, kids, or whatever. So, not having to think about it so much is also good. It's one less thing that's on your mind, so...
Okay, so, that's really, really excellent weekly habits and stuff. Now, you said daily habits. What particular daily habits do you have each day?
These days, I would say meditation is a big one for me. Like, I was always one of these people who was quite highly stressed and anxious and always overthinking. And, if you probably know yourself, when you overthink, you sometimes create problems that weren't even there to begin with.
Totally.
Meditation, like a lot of people think, hippie shit, whatever it is, it's some crazy hippie stuff. And I thought that too. But once I got the idea of it, I realized, hey, it's just simply calming my mind down, closing down all the thoughts and clutter that are going on in my head, and just give me that inner peace so I'm not anxious and stressed, because as they say, if you're anxious and stressed, you're probably living too far into the future. So meditation just gets you centered and in the moment. So that's probably the best daily habit I've ever added, above everything, because once you've done that, it allows you to do the rest of the things much, much easier. You're not thinking about all these different things. You've just got that clarity to go bang, 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 get it done without much fuss. So
definitely. I must say that would definitely be one of the best daily habits. I'm still struggling to do it daily, I'll be honest, but at least every 2 days, man, I pull out, I've got the Headspace app on my phone, and you just plug in, 15 minutes just passes in a heartbeat. But one thing I've found, and I've also been doing some work with some other people like the Mind Mechanics, you've probably seen them on my page, but just being able to align your thoughts, and things don't touch you as much anymore. Things that used to upset you in the past, things that used to take your attention, now they just flow over you like water over rocks in a stream.
I think that's the key word there, mate, is flow. The things that normally come into your head and then weigh you down, when you meditate, you're allowed to allow them thoughts and emotions flow as they should. And I think people bottle all this shit up. So they're either thinking too far ahead and they're anxious and stressed, or they're thinking too far behind and they're depressed. So yeah, certainly allows it to flow, which makes your life so much easier.
Okay, now you were saying that like exercise isn't so much a part of your daily routine. So how often would you be exercising in a week?
Okay, well, as far as like in a gym is concerned, like doing structured type of exercise, I go 2 to 3 times doing strength training. Other than that, I just walk my dogs like pretty much every day, usually 5-6 days a week for 20 to 30 minutes, which is not really exercise. It's sort of an enjoyment thing for me, but, you know, get some bit of exercise and myself, and also adds to allowing me to just have that clear mind, like the meditation. You know, it's awesome to get out, get a bit of fresh air, a bit of sunlight, and, yeah, just chill out, I guess. So
yeah, just being active.
Yeah, just being active in general, so nothing too strenuous. I'm not one of these people who believes in just exercising all the time and exercising every day. Like, if you love doing that, if you can maintain that, that's fine. But I mean, for the vast majority of us, that's not really realistic. So I think you just got to find something that you can A, enjoy, and B, fit in with your life and lifestyle.
Okay, that's awesome. So now here's the clincher, you know, being a personal trainer and stuff, is what you tell your clients any different?
No, exactly. I follow what I tell my clients is based on what I've learned over many years. So essentially, they don't have to make the mistakes that I made, because I can guide them in a way so they're not thinking they need to train for 2 hours, 7 days a week, you know. So, and I'm just a big believer of, you know, if you don't do it yourself, if you don't practice it yourself and know the ins and outs of it, then you shouldn't be teaching it to anyone. And I think in today's industry, in our industry of health and fitness, there's too many coaches and personal trainers who are saying, do this, do this, do that, but they're not doing it themselves. So I think it's good to know how to do it yourself. And so, yeah, definitely do what I ask or expect my clients to do.
That's awesome. Okay, so your clientele, primarily women, and they're basically after weight loss, toning, so all the lady stuff, and you've got mothers on there, you've got young women on there, you've got, you know, the age range as well. Now, what do you see as the biggest struggles that they are actually facing that is actually, you know, it sort of, they see it as holding them back?
Probably just the overall balance, like probably just having that overall balance where they're not being like extreme about exercise or food, but they've just got a good, healthy balance where they've just got good habits in practice, like your food prep, like shopping, regular exercise. And because often they're in this confusion where they're not too sure what to do or how much to do, so they just get very overwhelmed and end up doing nothing. So, you know, I think if they just break it down and concentrate on the small main tasks, I guess you could say the 20% of the work that gets 80% of the results. Because often they're probably putting too much time into lower priority things. Like a lot of women are going out and doing 2 hours on a treadmill every day, but they're not doing their food prep. They're not doing their shopping, so therefore they're not eating well. So that's probably one of the big struggles I would say they face.
Yeah, like one of the young ladies on your site, she was exactly that, 2 to 3 hours a day doing the cardio on the treadmill, and literally on a treadmill not getting anywhere, and yet all of a sudden reduced that time into 3 30-minute sessions a week, and the results just tripled.
Yeah, it's exactly right. It's amazes a lot of women, you know. They're so, I guess you could say, programmed and conditioned to thinking that they need to do all this exercise. And, you know, certain TV shows, I won't mention any names, but certain TV shows have over the years promoted, you know, 4 hours exercise a day, and then they lose all this weight. So then these women see that and think, oh, that's what I need to do. But they don't take into consideration that they're a mother, they work 40 hours, they've got a household to run, maybe they've got pets and other commitments. So, the people who were doing the 4 hours exercise a day on the show, they literally had nothing else to do other than exercise. So,
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I find, well, as a personal trainer, the women come to you, and it's not necessarily because, I mean, being overweight is the main reason they're coming to see you, but in actual fact, they don't see the real problem is that they've lost in touch with who they were. They miss the young lady they used to be. They miss, the looks they used to get. And so how do you, like, do you just help them fix their life just through training? Do you have a mindset routine that you guys do?
Yeah, we're definitely very big on the mindset. The mindset side of things it's often very misunderstood and very, very overlooked as well. So I think just getting a lot of women get to this position in their life, midlife, mid-age, 30s, 40s, and they think, hey, this is how I'm going to be for the rest of my life. And they just gain a lot of beliefs about how they are and how their life is going to be. And, some of the beliefs they have, if they continue to believe them things, they just continue to live that life, if that makes sense. So certainly mindset, just questioning a lot of the current thoughts that they have about themselves, about their lives, about weight loss. I mean, some women think, I can't lose weight. I've tried all these diets and I can't lose weight, so I'll never be able to lose weight. It wasn't that they can't lose weight. They just found ways that were never going to work, no fault of their own. So, sometimes we need to break through some of them old programs, I guess you could say, that people are running on that are not serving them too well. So, yeah, mindset is definitely a big component of what we do ultimately. It takes a while for most of the women to sort of grasp the concept, but once they do, they're often, amazed by how much more simple it is to do what they need to do, stay motivated and stay on track.
Awesome. Okay, so the good thing, helping them stay on track. And one thing I've noticed is we seem to be seeing the real you. You're quite happy to drop an F-bomb or an S-bomb. I've even seen on the site, click here for some free shit from us. So it's a good thing to be real and to be true to yourself.
Yeah, I think so as well. Like, certainly you will, when you are like that, some people won't like you. But I think that's important to be who you are, because the people who don't like you, you're probably not going to be able to really work with them anyway. So I think just by being who you are, you then attract people who can relate to you, and you're just going to get along with them better. And the members I get these days from just being myself and not being afraid to be myself, they're just awesome people who I could go and have a drink with at the bar or invite them over for drinks. That's how much I enjoy their company and they enjoy mine. But when I used to try and fit the PT mold and everything's awesome, everything's perfect, never swear, never be myself, essentially, I just found I attracted a lot of clients who probably weren't the best fit for me and my program, and neither of us could sort of get the most out of what we were trying to do, essentially. So yeah, it's extremely important, I think, in this day and age especially.
Awesome. Now, also, you're married to Simone. You've been married for a couple of years now. So you guys work as a team, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. We're a husband and wife team, and we sort of started the business off together back about 5 years ago, and have successfully ran it ourselves in the meantime, and got a couple of twins on the way now. So,
oh, congratulations! That's awesome.
Cheers, mate. So, yeah, looking forward to the next phase of the journey. No doubt, very challenging one, but in a way, I'm looking forward to being able to understand my clients and members and prospects more, because, as you touched on earlier, most of them are mothers. So, being able to understand that perspective of being a parent, I can then obviously gain more insight and knowledge, and again, be able to relate to them better and then relate to me better, which is always good, I guess. So.
Awesome. So how do the two of you work together? Do you each have particular clients, or do you find that you both types complement each other? Do you have specialities?
Yeah, see, what we found at the start is we used to sort of split everything 50-50 and both do a bit of everything. But in time we sort of learnt that we were really good at some things and really shit at others, like anyone. Like there was elements that my wife Simone was very, very good at, and that I was not so good at, and vice versa. So there's things that I weren't good at all that she could do easily, with ease. So I guess in time we figured out what was most suited to our personalities and our roles, and we sort of enjoy it a lot more now too and really do better with it. So yeah, we sort of have our own areas. I work more with the clients, doing the coaching and the sessions and that kind of thing. And Simone does more the admin and the tech side and helping me put everything together like that, being a bit of a tech tard. And Simone does a lot of the initial calls with clients as well, just to welcome them on board and things like that. So yeah, works really, really good.
That's excellent. So, all right. So, this might even be a question for Simone, but I mean, being a tech tard, what apps do you think? Because we've all got our smartphones with us 24/7 now. So, do you find that there's certain apps that you think will help people in their health and fitness journey?
I'm not the biggest like tech person, or I'm not that into like all the different apps and things, but some things that could help people on their weight loss journey. I think one app called The Work by Byron Katie. That's a really good one, I think, for...
I've got that one. That one's outstanding.
Actually, I'm pretty sure it was you who put me on to that, to be honest. So
yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah, that one is good. That one's good for the mindset side of things, of course. Otherwise, not exactly an app, but I think the Fitbits are really good for tracking your sleep, water intake, food intake, things like that. So yeah, that's probably the best answer.
All right. So even though like you and I both sort of think it's not necessarily as simple as calories in, calories out, but utilizing a tool such as your Fitbit, such as MyFitnessPal, things like that, you think it's a good idea to people just to have an idea of what they're eating and basically when they should be stopping?
Yeah, well, I think you got to have some way of tracking your food, like whether you're writing it down and tracking it via calories or even taking photos of your meals, because you know, if you know how you're eating and you know the result that's coming with that way of eating, regardless of how it is, you can get a result and then you can see if it's working or not. So, and then if it's working, obviously keep doing the same thing. If it's not, you can change it. So I think, yeah, it's definitely important to be tracking, even writing down what you're having, like writing down a description of what you are having, so you've got a idea of what's working, what's not working. And just for the accountability side of things, when you're writing it down or you're sharing it into a group or taking photos or putting it on an app, it's a little bit more accountability. So just sort of keeps you on track and make sure you're being honest, I guess. And especially when you've got a group like we have for our online programs, where basically we get everyone to post their food pictures in the group. So I mean, A, we can see if they're doing what they need to be doing, and B, if they're not getting to where they need to be, we can see what tweaks we need to make, and that works every time, even with when people do hit a plateau, as you know, it inevitably it happens for everyone. When they do hit that plateau, we can just look at, you know, less carbs or more fats or more proteins, whatever it is, and bang, break out of the plateau and back on track.
That's awesome. That sounds really, really good, especially the group. Do you find having a group atmosphere for people to share, do you think that really helps?
At first, I thought it was shit, but to be honest, we just sucked at how we done it. And but over time of having the group for about 2 years, the actual online support groups, we've just found ways to do it much, much, much better. And it's actually become probably the thing that the members like the most. It is, in fact, the thing members like the most. Like, I talk to women every week who are finishing the program who actually get a bit upset and emotional about having to leave the group. It's become that important to them. It's become like their family to a degree. And some of the women make friends with other ladies. We've had women who meet up for exercise and have become good friends and support each other through some hard shit. I mean, we've had plenty of women in the last 12 months who have lost family members or had family members get cancer and shit like that. And having that support network outside of their regular support network has helped them immensely with their staying on track. So yeah, the group now is just phenomenal, how good it is, how helpful it is. And it just shows you the power of learning in a group where because everyone who comes on our program, they're coming from very much similar circumstances, so they can just relate to each other and feel like other people get them and they're not on this alone. Because so often you feel you join a program or whatever, but you feel like you're on your own still. You feel like you're doing everything on your own. But this group, you got constant notifications reminding you that you've got other people there supporting you, helping you, keeping you accountable. So,
oh, that sounds absolutely amazing. That bit, that just sounds brilliant. I like the constant notifications, which all of a sudden, reinforces in your own mind that, hey, I'm in this journey. I'm not in this journey alone, and there are other people going through the exact same thing. So, yeah, I could see how that would be an amazing tool.
And the awesome thing is, you can, the women who are getting the absolute best results, you can look back at what they've been posting, look back at what they've been eating, how they've been training. So you can see exactly how people are getting to that result. And the other thing is as you're either in or you're out. If you're not, I won't lie, we probably have 50% of women, 40% of women who don't do anything in the group. That just happens on every program, as you know.
Yeah.
But, we can see, right, you're not posting, you're not getting results. This is why. But the other women, we can see they are posting, they are getting results too. And it's all there for everyone to see. So there's sort of no hiding from it. You either do the work, get the results, or you don't, and you don't get the results. So makes it sort of just keeps people honest, I guess, and accountability, which at the end of the day, I think there's enough info on the internet to know how to do anything you want, really, especially weight loss. There's billions of articles on weight loss, but a lot of people just don't have the accountability to have someone there to make sure that they actually do what they said they would do, okay? Because often we say we're going to do this and do that, but we don't do it. But when we have someone there to say, where is your proof, or where's your work, what are you doing, it keeps people a bit more honest, I guess you could say.
That's actually interesting, because I just read today that there were, sometimes you need an arm around your shoulders, other times you need a foot in your bum. But either way, we need a mixture of the both. And, it sounds like you've got the best of both worlds there.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. Definitely need a mix of both. I think with everything in life always comes back to balance, I think.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So basically, I've come to the end of my questions, and oh my God, there's been some amazing information here so far, Clint. It's been excellent. Now, have you got any final advice that you would want people out there to just hear?
Yeah, so if I could give my final advice, I would say just be really honest with yourself. Just think about where your life is going to be, where you want your life to be in 5-10 years' time. And, if you're not happy with what that looks like, then obviously you need to change. We can have as many people support us, tell us nice things, and it's all going to be awesome. But at the end of the day, if we don't get honest with ourselves, we can't move forward. And that's where a lot of people are going wrong. They're not starting at that point of honesty and looking in the mirror and saying, right, this is it. I've had enough. I'm doing it. So I think do that initially, but then just create a very simple, realistic routine, okay? Obviously, do your food shopping every week. Just go and buy fresh, healthy foods. Keep it simple and do your food prep for the week and your shopping. That's got your food sorted. Then it's like probably an hour to do your shopping, an hour to do your food prep. So 2 hours for your week to ensure that you eat good. I think, that's something everyone should be doing regardless. And then as far as exercise is concerned, try and find something that you like exercise. A lot of people use exercise as a bit of a punishment. They think that they need to go and flog themselves in the gym or smash themselves at the boot camp. And, the high intensity stuff has its place, but at the end of the day, try and find something that you do like to some degree, or you do get some enjoyment out of, and then just fit it into your week. Like, don't try and be superwoman and train every day, because A, you don't need to, and B, you're probably not going to be able to stick to that. And when you don't stick to that, what you expected to do, you get upset with yourself when you don't meet your expectations. So yeah, even if you're only exercising 3 times a week, most of us are doing no exercise. So if you go from 0 to 3, you're doing 300% times better. Yet often I'll talk to women who say, oh, I've only done 3 sessions for the week, I feel so bad. And it's like, you've done 300% times better than what you used to. So, and you're moving forward. So yeah, just keep it simple. There's so much bullshit out there that is confusing people with food and with exercise. But yeah, keep it basic, keep it simple, and keep it enjoyable. You don't have to restrict yourself to eating chicken and broccoli for the rest of your life. And you certainly don't have to avoid your indulgences occasionally, like some chocolate if you're a sweet tooth, or some wine or some beer or whatever it is. You got to allow yourself to have some of these things you enjoy, as well as, as well as having healthy habits. Yeah, so.
That's awesome. Now, Clint, very wise words and very honest, which is the more important, I think. But anyway, thank you very much for your time today. That's awesome. And hopefully everyone gets some stuff out of this. I'm just going to press stop button, but don't go anywhere. We'll chat afterwards.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, Andrew, for having me. And thanks, everyone, for listening.